Bald cypress, or Taxodium disticum, is a great addition to your yard or your landscape. So I thought I'd do a video on that today. So welcome back, everybody. This is our bald cypress from last summer that we just planted in the spring of 2024. So this is its first season. As you can see, the tree has this really cool fern-like growth to it, and that's what attracted me to it. We actually, on our walks around the village, found somebody who has one of these in their front yard, and I didn't know what it was. We had to look it up with a plant app, actually. But the growths are really large when they get bigger. And so it just looks like a big fern almost. It's hard to describe. It's such a cool tree. I purposely got a baby one because I sort of wanted to prune it to the shape that I wanted it to be. So this is the tree right after it was planted, about a month later. So one thing to note with bald cypress is they like wet spots. So this is a wet spot in our yard. It floods every year. Bald cypress are native to the southeast United States, and they're often growing in swamps and standing water where they're in standing water all the time. And so if you have a wet spot in your yard and you need to plant something, bald cypress is a great option because it's going to love the water. It won't bother it at all. It doesn't need to be submerged or in a wet area, though. I mean, they don't like drought, I don't think, although it seems like from doing research they seem to grow kind of wherever you plant them, which is a nice thing about them. They're pretty hardy because although they're native to the southeast United States, they grow really well in New York. I mean, there's multiple bald cypress in the village here where we are in western New York, but there's also bald cypress all over the state. When you start to do a little research, there's some really big ones too. Another cool feature of the bald cypress is in the fall. This is I think October when I filmed this. They turn a beautiful orange, kind of reddish color. So before the needles drop, they get a brilliant color. Now you can only imagine if this tree were, let's say, 40 feet tall and 20 feet wide, how stunning that would look. I'm looking forward to that. Now in terms of size, the bald cypress gets 50 to 70 feet tall, they say. In the north, they might be a touch lower than that, because in the winter they're dormant a little bit longer around here. And then about 20 feet wide, because they're a quite pyramidal or columnar kind of tree in terms of its growth habit. You'll see if you see them submerged, you'll see that they have what's called knees. They look like little spikes that stick up all around them. And those are growths off the roots that are theorized to give the tree oxygen if it's in standing water. So if your tree's not in standing water, you're not going to see those knees pop up all over the place around it. So you don't have to worry about that if that's something you didn't want, like in a landscape, for example. That could be a little difficult. But it's such a pretty tree, and this is kind of later where the color's faded somewhat. But you saw a minute ago, it gets that brilliant orange, and just such a cool tree. And it gets a dappled shade too. So the ones down the street that were really large, they just give this really cool dappled shade. It's hard to exactly describe unless you see it. And you're not going to see bald cypress every day in our neck of the woods. I mean, in some places you will see them every day because they're all over the place. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's easy to grow, it's unusual, that's going to be just kind of a focal point for your landscape, and just give you, they have a haunting kind of beauty, I think, to them when you see them at full size. They're just, down south you'll often see them with the Spanish moss growing in them and stuff like that. Obviously you're not going to get that in New York State, but you just have that. They have a quality to them that you can't quite put your finger on. And so if you're looking for something like that, and you're thinking about plantings for the spring, bald cypress is one I would definitely recommend. So here it is, just a few weeks ago in the winter time, buried under a couple feet of snow, looking all sad, but it's ready. It's resting up and ready for the spring, as we all are, I think, at this point. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon. And definitely consider the bald cypress. It's something that I don't think you'd be disappointed with.